can the city council legally address traffic by limiting or banning additional housing?
No.
And-
No, I mean, here's what's, I mean, well, I guess I'll give the
Maybe-
planner response real quick. Here's the problem, you're immediately going to go out of compliance with state law. So technically, I guess you could. Then you have to deal with the consequences.
And just to confirm that, no, we cannot. I think as Andrew did point out in the presentation, we cannot, state law does not allow us to use traffic as a means to get out of addressing our housing element. They've even clamped down more on CEQA processes, saying that transportation was not something that even was to be considered as an environmental impact. And as far as the potential for a moratorium, which I know is on the table too, that you all asked us to look at, the issue very much is there are two different kinds of moratoriums. One is an interim 45-day moratorium that has what I will call lesser findings that have to be made because it's for a very short period of time, only 45 days. We frankly don't even think we could qualify for a 45-day moratorium. But beyond that 45 days, if we wanted to extend it beyond that period, which could be extended up to potentially 2 years, the requirements that have to be made for findings to be able to justify a moratorium are very, very severe, and they do not include traffic. And to reiterate one of the things that Andrew mentioned, we often hear the term public health, safety, and welfare when we talk about things that cities are justified in regulating based on public health, safety, and welfare. Much of the planning, zoning, traffic rules are based on welfare. What the moratorium rules require is that you focus instead on public health and safety, and they take away the ability to look at that welfare category. So the kinds of the type of thing, to give an example, that could potentially justify a moratorium to try to solve some housing issues, traffic issues, what have you, really get to things like if you didn't have a water source. If all of a sudden there was no capacity to service water for additional housing, and frankly they ran into that issue in the not so distant past in Gilroy and Hollister area where they had to put a moratorium on because they had a water issue. That kind of a thing is then a public health and safety issue. Traffic is not.